May my homage to the gem of the Supreme Buddha. The Buddha is my refuge every day. May my homage to the gem of the Supreme Dhamma. The Dhamma is my refuge every day. May my homage to the gem of the Supreme Sangha. The Sangha is my refuge every day. May my homage to the Supreme Triple Gem. The Triple Gem is my refuge every day. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Samanta Chakravalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajassa Sunantu Saggamokkadang Dhammasavana Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayang Badanta. May all divine beings arrive here to listen to sublime Dhamma expounded by the fully enlightened one. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Honor to the Supreme Buddha, the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened one. Meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, you all are going to listen to sublime Dhamma expounded by the fully enlightened one, whose kindness, loving kindness, compassion, immeasurable. The Buddha is born to this world to rescue us from suffering. Especially Buddhas are born after a lapse of time, having completed 10 perfections. We cannot actually explicate about the qualities of the Buddha. These days the great problem, the main problem the people have is lack of unshakable confidence towards the Supremely Enlightened One, because of which so many problems crop up. That is, accumulation of unwholesome deeds, and not accumulating wholesome deeds, not believing the reality of the world, anicca dukkha anatta, not believing right view, not believing this world and next world, not believing rebirth. So all the things take place due to the fact that lack of unshakable confidence of the Supremely Enlightened One. So the center of the path circles round unshakable confidence or Shraddha. Therefore, on any time, on any occasion, on any era, we should have to have what is called unshakable confidence towards the Supremely Enlightened One. If you lack it, you are a blank person. Sometimes you are full of wealth, full of money, full of fame, full of power, full of education, full of abilities, full of many things, beauty, all that. But you are empty vessel. you are an empty vessel because you lack the most important thing in the world. What is the most important thing in the world? That is Shraddha. That is Saddha. Saddha Dhanam. Saddha is a wealth. When you have Saddha, you develop Sila. That is your behavior of body and speech. Then Sila is also a wealth. Then Hiri, that is your shame to do evil things. And Ottappa, your fear to do evil things. They all are wealths. Sutta, that is also a wealth. That means Dhamma knowledge. Chaga, that is charity, offering things. And Panya, that is wisdom. All these things are wealths. Saptara Dhanaya, that means 7 types of wealths. All these 7 types of wealths emerge on the basis of Saddha. Therefore, if you lack Saddha, you lack everything. You are empty vessel. You are blank paper. And you will have to suffer in the 4 hells once again. So you have come to this world having accumulated lot of merits by using Saddha. But if you lack Saddha this time, you have to go to 4 hells again. Unfortunately, majority of population lack Saddha. English educated some persons tend to think we are educated people, we know everything, we can speak English well, we are fluent in English. But sometimes they lack the most important thing. What is that? That is Saddha. But there are those who are born in English speaking world, they fortunately full of Saddha. Therefore, sometimes they tend to, get ordained themselves and become the followers of the Buddha. And they tend to propagate Dhamma to the entire world. Some Buddhist monks like Ajahn Brahm and some other monks. When I go to the Mahamevuna monastery in Sri Lanka, I meet some of the foreign monks. Then I am very happy. They talk of the Supremely Enlightened One happily and with magnificent confidence. One day I met a Buddhist monk from Mahamevuna monastery who was born in America, tall one. His name is Mahinda Bodhi. Mistakenly I talked to him Ananda Bodhi. Oh, magnificent, Ananda. If I get that name, how fortunate I am. Like that he talked to me. Because Ananda, Venerable Ananda is the attendant to the Supremely Enlightened One. But in Sri Lankan context, there are so many Anandas. Actually, I don't know whether they have that pleasure. I don't know. But I have not seen the pleasure that I saw in that Mahinda Bodhi Thero in relation to the name Ananda, Venerable Ananda. What does it indicate? It indicates what is called Saddha. Saddha. Saddha is, treasure. Saddha is a treasure. Lacking of Saddha is displeasure, disaster, agony, and deterioration, degradation. We can use all the words, poverty. Therefore, this Saddha is magnificent thing in Buddhism, because it directs us to take refuge in the Supremely Enlightened One wholeheartedly, who was born to this world after a lapse of time. After a lapse of time. We have to teach this to our children, to our parents, to our relations, to our friends, and to our community, to everybody in the world whom we associate. That is a merit. So actually, Shraddha is Saddhati Tathagatassa Bodhin. The confidence in the enlightenment of the Supremely Enlightened One is called Saddha. So that is a magnificent word, Saddhati Tathagatassa Bodhi. Fortunately, when I went to deliver Dhamma sermons in previous Vassana retreat, when I questioned about Saddha, some of the Sri Lankan devotees, a few, answered me with the Pali term Saddhati Tathagatassa Bodhi. I was very happy to hear, because they have listened to the Dhamma sermons very well and they have remembered it, this Pali word. We generally remember so many unnecessary songs, unnecessary languages. Unnecessary languages means not unnecessary languages actually. So the language is necessary. But the words that they do not want in their life, they remember. But they don't remember the Supremely Enlightened One's language. That is Saddha. That is Pali language. So therefore, meritorious devotees, you have to take this seriously. Because this, the Saddha, especially help us to rescue ourselves from the four hells and be born in a pleasurable plane on the one hand, and to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana on the other hand. All the things are done by this core, that is Saddha. Therefore, when you have unshakable confidence towards the Supremely Enlightened One, you tend to study about Supremely Enlightened One. Who is the Buddha? What are the qualities of the Buddha? And all that you start studying. Then you have actually time for that. When you have Saddha, otherwise you tend not to study Saddha or the Buddha, telling that I have no time to do that. I am busy, like that. But when you have Saddha, you have enough time because you cut off all the other unnecessary things. Talking with your friends, useless words, frivolous talk, you stop. And unnecessary enjoyments, you stop. Loitering, you stop. So all these things you stop and start studying about the Dhamma. When you study Dhamma, you generally study of the Supremely Enlightened One. And what is found in the canonical texts, either you yourself read or you get help from noble friends, noble disciples of the Buddha. That means Kalyana Mitta Bhikkhus. You get help and start reading them. Then first and foremost, you start studying 9 qualities of the Buddha, the meaning of them, the meaning of them. Now you think of yourself, whether you can explicate 9 qualities of the Buddha in Sinhala or in English or in any other language other than Pali. Now in Pali you can say Arahan Samma Sambuddha Vijjacharana Sampanna, like that. But speaking like a parrot is not accepted here. What is necessary is explaining the quality with meaning. For example, Araham, the first quality of the Supremely Enlightened One. What is the meaning of Araham? That is, what is the meaning? Meaning is, the Supremely Enlightened One doesn't do evil, even in secrecy. Even in secrecy. That is the meaning. Then Samma Sambuddha, the fully enlightened one, attain or comprehend Four Noble Truths without any teacher, without the help of any teacher. So, like that way, you have to explicate one by one the 9 qualities of the Supremely Enlightened One. If you can do it, generally and specifically, we can understand that you have Saddha. Even now, you cannot explicate 9 qualities of the Buddha, of the Supremely Enlightened One. That suggests that you lack appropriate saddha. Now you cannot be complacent regarding this. You may not consider about this. You may just ignore this idea. But if you ignore it, you have to suffer. So, very rarely we get a chance to be born as a human being, as a being in a realm of gods. So come to this world is not an easy task, because we tend to be born in 4 hells, always, having done 10 unwholesome deeds, like killing beings, stealing, engaging in sexual misconduct, and telling lies, and carrying tales, frivolous talk, harsh speech, greed, hatred and delusion. That means wrong view. So they lead us to be born in four hells. When you have Shraddha, you tend to avoid them. You avoid them. You practice 10 wholesome actions. What are the 10 wholesome actions? They are refraining from the bad things that I have mentioned earlier on. Therefore, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, it is not easy to continue and build up and maintain the unshakable confidence in you. If you want to do that, you have to always remember 9 qualities of the Buddha. You have to practice the meditation on 9 qualities of the Buddha. That is Buddhanussati. Buddhanussati meditation. When you practice Buddhanussati meditation, you tend to fed up with this world actually. Because people fed up with the world due to some problems. Sometimes wife fed up with the world due to the unnecessary actions of the husband. Therefore she says, I have fed up with this world. I do not want this world. Like that she says. But when the husband once again come back to the normalcy, she says, now samsara is okay for her. On the vice versa. Therefore, people tend to fed up with the world, the samsara, for trivial matters. For trivial matters. Therefore, once one fed up, and after some time attach to the world. That is why we cannot get rid of this samsara. That is why we cannot emancipate from this samsara. That is why we cannot put an end to this dangerous samsara. Because we do not have proper padding off. But if you remember, memorize, concentrate on 9 qualities of the Supremely Enlightened One. If you practice Buddhanussati meditation, you really fed up with this samsara. You really fed up with this samsara. And it helps you to be born in a pleasurable plane too. Suppose we are unable to come to the first stage of sainthood, so on, this time. Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahanta. These levels of understanding, comprehension. Then what will happen? You will be born in a pleasurable plane, like a divine plane, due to memorizing of the Supremely Enlightened One. Now you can remember what happened, that small boy, Adinna Pubbaka's son, Matta Kundali. Matta Kundali was on the verge of death due to a certain disease. Now what Buddha did? Buddha did not go there and gave him medicine. Buddha saw that he is about to die. Then Buddha wanted to make him to be born in a pleasurable plane. So how can he do it? By making him remember, reflect on 9 qualities of the Buddha. Then what did he do? He, emanates some rays from his body And those were seen by Mattakundali and was pleased about the Buddha, and he died and be born in a divine plane. Now see what Buddha did. So Buddha wanted to give him a pleasurable plane, not to cure him this time, because Buddha knew that just curing him is not adequate. He should be cured, not in this world, but in next world. And on the other hand, you can remember what happened to Chatta Manavaka, the young fellow Chatta. He was taught by the Supremely Enlightened One qualities of the triple gem, because Buddha knew that he was going to die after stabbing or after some attack by the club to death by the thieves. Then Buddha taught him and asked him to remember these qualities of the triple gem, and he was made to observe 5 precepts. Now these are very powerful. 5 precepts, triple gem. All these things you can get, you understand, by being saddha. If you lack of saddha, you don't take refuge in the triple gem wholeheartedly and practice 5 precepts. Therefore, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, this is a great occasion that you have encountered this world. What you have to do is to have confidence on the Supremely Enlightened One. Then definitely you will be confidence on the noble, sublime Dhamma. Then you will be confidence on noble Sangha. And then you tend to practice Sila. And that is the base of your final emancipation. If you do not have that base, foundation, you cannot actually escape from this samsara or escape from 4 hells, and you cannot actually expect a pleasurable plane to be born in the next world. So all these things based on unshakable confidence towards the Supremely Enlightened One. So whenever you are free, try to commemorate, try to reflect on, try to memorize the qualities of the Supremely Enlightened One, Buddha Anussati. Then you have time to concentrate on Dhamma Anussati, qualities of the Dhamma. And you have time to concentrate on the Sangha, qualities of the Sangha. Now, nowadays what happened? People start blaming, attacking, and using harsh words. They criticize the Sangha and they accumulate a lot of demerits. Why do they do that? They lack saddha. If they have saddha, they can identify who are the real followers of the Buddha and who are the unnecessary persons who are ordained, who have ordained having the robes and doing bad things. Then people can have the distinction. They know how to distinction between real Sangha and bad persons. So therefore they neglect bad persons and they appreciate real followers of the Buddha. Today, people cannot do that due to the lack of saddha. Therefore, they start blaming using harsh words, especially in using social media, the almost all the disciples of the Buddha, and due to that they'll accumulate a lot of demerits, and that direct them to be born in the hell. Therefore, the Saddha, what I was talking today, was the most important thing that we have to develop in our life. Within this Dhamma sermon, fully, I wanted to discuss according to the time available about that. So you try to be a person with full of saddha, unshakable confidence, and try to be a good follower of the Buddha, and try to comprehend the Four Noble Truths within the regime of Gautama Buddha Sasana. May the Noble Triple Gem bless with you all. Akasattha ca Bummatta Devanaga Mahiddhika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakhantu Buddha Sasanang. Akasattha ca Bummatta Devanaga Mahiddhika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakhantu Buddha Desanang. Akasattha ca Bummatta Devanaga Mahiddhika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakhantu Tang Sada.
Thanks for watching.